guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be how to depot a MAC blush or MAC eyeshadow. So the tools you're going to need for sure is a palette, whether it's from MAC or Z palette. Z palettes are automatically magnetic, and the MAC ones means you'll need a magnet because they are not magnetized. So whichever one you have or whatever you want to purchase. I got my Z palette from the Makeup Geek website. My Z palette came with these little magnet things to stick on the back of them, and it also came with this handy tool which has a spatula like that's pointed on one side, and the other side has like a flat spatula. You're going to need your blush or eyeshadow that you want to depot, a pair of tweezers, and a straightening iron. I also have a heat glove for styling your hair with heat if you want to protect your hand. I don't feel it's necessary, but if you're scared about the heat, you can do that. I also have a heat protectant for my desk where I'm going to be performing this depotting procedure. I want to protect my desk from getting damaged. And I have a hot straightening iron. So this is parchment paper. It is optional, and it's from the kitchen. You can get it with like the saran wrap or the foil. It's totally optional. I'm doing this so that my straightener doesn't get messy. And I use the straightener on my hair all the time, so I don't want black plastic melted on it. But it's an option. I've never actually had it melt, but if you left it on there too long, if you forgot, if you got distracted, that could happen. So how I got that pot, I took the clamshell like this, and inside of it was this. So it was like that, and I put a piece of like this to right here in between that groove, and I pushed up to wedge it up. That's all I did. So I've removed this. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm taking this parchment paper and I'm placing it on the hot part of the straightener. This is on high. And then I'm going to take the eyeshadow that we've removed from the clamshell and I'm going to place it on that blade. Now the hard part from my straightener was that my straightener is curved. Do you see? So I have to actually keep it on there somehow. So that's where your tweezers come in handy. It is way harder to get it to balance if you don't have tweezers. So if you need to, you can keep your tweezers handy and ready. Just don't move and it should be fine. You're going to leave it on there for about 30 to 45 seconds. And then you'll start to notice that the black backing of that shadow is going to be melting a little bit. Okay, so it's been probably about a minute. I did check it at 30 seconds and it wasn't quite ready. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to use my tweezers just to get it off the straightener. And all I'm doing, this is a heat pad here, so all I'm doing is I'm going to turn this over, and remember it's slightly hot. It isn't melted. I can hold it in my hand, but it is hot. Do you see how the bottom of this got like a little indented? You want to move quickly while it is still hot, and you're going to press the tweezers into that hole. And all you're trying to do is push the eyeshadow out through the other side. Now this may need a little bit longer because I'm getting some resistance. There shouldn't be any resistance or you risk cracking it. So I'm going to put it back on the blade. Okay, so I have had that on there for quite a while, and you see now it's very soft and I can actually move the plastic with my tweezers. So that's all I'm kind of doing, is just pushing down lightly on the back of that to pop the eyeshadow out of its place. Now you can see here that the eyeshadow started lifting off from the edge here. You just want to push the eyeshadow down, and then you can kind of lightly, you can see how this shadow is just lifting from the pan. I can see the pan is just coming out of there. Now you see the adhesive, there's still some melted adhesive coming off. But that's okay, we're just going to pull. Now that eyeshadow is hot, you want to let it cool. If your intention is to put it at a MAC palette, you need to use a magnet. But if your intention is to use a Z palette, you don't need to use a magnet because the magnet is built in. So we want to let that cool for just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and do a blush just the same way. I just take the lid up, I poke something in that groove right in between the base, that little hiccup there. And I want to put something right in there and pop out the plastic, just like I did with the eyeshadow. Woo, there it goes. And then I'm going to place it on the parchment paper as well on the straightener for a little while. Okay, so now we have this and it's kind of cooled. What I'm going to do is This part here that we melted a lot is going to go back in the clamshell, and you can back to Mac this, so this will be eligible as one of your 6 empties. So that's done. Now what you can do on this back part is you can actually hold a lighter to this sticker and get the sticker to come off. If you don't want to do that, you can place it on your straightener and heat it just enough to melt the adhesive around the edges of the sticker and then peel it off with your tweezers. And for the magnetic strip, if you were going to put this in a MAC palette, you would take part of this roll of magnetic tape. You would just cut off a little piece, whatever you think you need for one eyeshadow. And you would stick the sticker, or peel off the sticker. You would put the sticky side on the back of your eyeshadow and press it on. And now it will stick in your MAC palette. And it's adhesive, so magnetic, so it won't move around. You can remove it, but it is magnetic, so. But you do not need the magnet, like I said, if you're using a Z palette. You can simply stick it right on there because it's already magnetic. Alright, so that is it. That is how I depot my MAC eyeshadows and blushes. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.